I didn't think I'd be doing this video, but unfortunately, I have to address the elephant in the room because things are getting out of hand. Yes, everything you see or saw in that video is absolutely true. Last year, sometime, I met a really amazing man or a person that I thought was absolutely amazing, and we began dating. The first time we met each other was when he did this grand thing and he came to an event with all of my friends present to come and tell me and show me that he loves me. In front of celebrities and everyone, here was this man that was declaring his love for me. The next day, we were at a braai with all of my friends, and they all met him as my boyfriend. From that point on, we started attending event after event together and traveling. Most of those things and most of those costs were covered by me because he had a story that made sense and he couldn't cover most of the things that we did.
Hi and welcome back to the channel. Come closer, class is in session. So today I'll be talking about why I think influencers need to stop dating social climbers in society. Because at the end of the day, this does not end well for the influencer, and the social climbers get to gain a lot from the publicity and the fame and the spotlight, right? Now, I am going to get into the Dominic and Lasizwe and Anati situation, but first, let me just say a few things, right? Now, for me personally, if you're going to date me and you don't post me, you're not getting anything from me. Let's start there, right? If you can't claim me publicly, I'm not going to be on my knees somewhere privately trying to make you happy. Because a lot of men tend to do this or make this excuse. I'm not a social media person. I don't like posting. My job does not allow me to post. But that's a lie, right? It's either you are not his type, you are definitely not his dream girl, and he's just not taking the relationship seriously or the marriage. Because if you're scrolling down your guy's feed and you never see a picture of yourself, my sister, the answer is there, you know? I mean, the reason why Dominic and Lassie got into the situation is because of that. Not posting each other. Because when you post your partner or someone that you're dating, it makes it easier for them to come out or to be caught when they're doing these funny things behind the scenes online. Do you get what I'm saying? So today, get a homework. Get a homework. Um, Go to your lover, right? Baby, my man, well, it's my situation ya it's your guy, your boyfriend, your baby daddy. I'm just to post on social media, right? And just celebrate our love. And you have to do this in person to see his reaction. If that man is choking on his words, if that man is sweating and is giving you excuses that you don't understand, my sister, you have your answer. You are not his dream girl. You are not his type. He is clearly embarrassed of you and he's just pushing time with you, right? And these influencers need to understand this. Just because you are famous or you're well known does not always mean that everyone's going to think you are their type, right? And a lot of our influencers make that mistakes. That's why Lasizwe and Dominic got into this situation, right? Now, influencers need to stop dating social climbers because these men date these influencers and content creators simply because they see an opportunity to climb the social ladder in society, right? Whether it's rubbing shoulders with the rich, the famous, or the popular for whatever reason, right? And in most cases, they do have hidden agendas. Because the minute an influencer or creator starts posting their partner, naturally, as followers and subscribers, we also fall in love with their partners and we do the next best thing, which is to follow and like their content and support them in whatever they do. Right? I mean, we definitely saw this with Mihlali and Leroy, right? We all understood that he was married, but slowly but surely we started warming up to the fact that they're really in love with Mihlali. And some of us went to go follow him. And he got the spotlight, he got the attention, he got the fame, and he tried to use it against Mihlali by ruining her brand and reputation, but he didn't succeed. So social climbers date our influencers for whatever reason. It's either to gain popularity, fame, get clients, networking, or just make it into this industry. Remember, fame, if used properly, is currency, right? Popularity, if used properly, is currency. And I remember Unati was speaking on McG's podcast that she was in a situation at the radio station, right? And she was suspended. She had apologized to like her management, and it was a lady, but she was giving her a tough time, right? Then she was not on air for the longest time. Fikile, yes, the minister, was listening to Metro FM, and he called like the big boss there and was like, "Where's Unati? Because I miss her. When is she coming back on air?" He was like, "I have no idea actually." Then he was like, "Put her on a call because like I miss her." And then they called her. It was a Friday. She was at a bride. They're like, "Where are you? Why aren't you on air?" She's like, "No, I sent an apology letter to management, but I don't know what's going on." They were like, "No, forget that. Monday you back on air." Do you see how powerful is it to be famous and to be popular? This is currency. She got her job back simply because the minister was saying that he misses her. So fame and popularity used the right way is very powerful. Now let's get into this conversation, right? I will be talking about Dominic and Lasizwe and Anati's situation, right? Now, let me start with Dominic and Anati. Dominic normally comes very Dominic normally comes across as a very confident person in society, very loud, very opinionated, right? And this has not always been the case with him. I do believe when he was younger, he was very insecure and he struggled a lot with confidence, just like a lot of us, right? Which is right. But now that he's an adult, he's making up for lost time, right? Now, this 21-year-old picked this up because in the video, Dominic says he showed up at an event in front of his friends. So this 21-year-old studied Dominic to say that this one likes to be celebrated publicly, and I'm going to give him that. I'm going to show up and show him that I love him, right? And love bomb him, because this is love bombing, right? He constantly did that until Dominic felt comfortable with him, but behind the scenes, he started breaking Dominic, reminding Dominic of that little boy, that insecure boy, the boy that's not confident. Because Dominic said it even led to the abuse, right? Which I don't condone. But this little boy loved bomb Dominic by celebrating him in public, but privately he broke him down. Now with Lasizwe's situation, right? Lasizwe, please don't say you're not a victim, because you are. You were just as invested, right? It's just that Dominic started posting and you realize that you're speaking to the same guy. And you just turned this whole story around and tried to monetize off it, right? You chased clickbait and videos and you got exactly that. But you were just as invested, because had Dominic not posted, you were going to be probably still entertaining this guy, right? So now, these social climbers tend to love bomb these influencers. They will give you apartments, cars, attention, love, right? And you will think it's love, but it's not love. They know what they're doing. They are using you to get to the next level. Whether it's exposure within the influencing society, because remember, we all know who Anati is right now. And there are powerful people and influential people that can might just try their luck with him again. Do you get what I'm saying? Whether you guys exposed him or not, he will benefit if he uses it the right way, which I don't condone, right? And the last thing I want to talk about is how I feel both Dominic and Lasizwe were wrong by releasing the screenshots and the videos. I do not know what were you trying to prove, because you're already big and famous, but that for me was very childish, right? People in my community, if you're chatting with a guy and a guy tells you, "I'm down low, I want us to be a secret, I'm not comfortable, I'm not coming out," don't expose the guy. I don't care what happens, right? He told you. So you need to understand that he told you, and you need to be comfortable with that. You're gonna date in secret and do your things in secret. But the fact that you guys released screenshots, that for me was very childish. It was very wrong, because you don't do that, right? If you want to date someone who's out, date people who are out. If you want to date people who are in a closet, date them. But just don't ruin people's reputations and names just because you have a platform or you can do so, or you hurt, right? We all date. We all go through our ups and downs in relationships, but we're not releasing screenshots and videos. What are you trying to prove? That's the thing. And it does show that there is a level of childishness between the two influencers, because there was no need. I'm not going to lie, there was no need. Tell your story without mentioning names or screenshots and videos. That's about it. Social media is ruining relationships and dating, and we get to see this with all these influencers online. A subscriber of mine asked me, "Mpo, can you please talk about how in relationships and friendship there's a pressure to compare your lives and relationships with other people online?" And I'm going to just say this to you, that social media is not a real place, right? Don't be fooled. All of this is an act, and most of the time, people are in character, right? I mean, we go to these places, we dress a certain way, we act a certain way, we speak a certain way, but I don't think that's ourselves 24 hours. So, love your life, love your relationship, and understand the type of lifestyle you want to live and why you got into that relationship, right? Because if you are happy with your boyfriend giving you 500, it's okay. Don't be pressured or now feel that your man needs to give you 10K because an influencer or content creator said so. No, that's not always everyone's realities, guys. We all can't be flown in and out of the country, and that does not mean you don't have to fall in love. You don't have to have friends. Also, with friends, understand the type of lifestyle you're living. If you're a big spender and your friends are big spenders, good. If you're a small spender and your friends are small spenders, good, right? Particularly with me, with friends and relationships, I'm just down and out. I'm dry. I don't really care much about everything. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted when it comes to friends and relationships. But in a nutshell, social media is not a real place. Live your life, accept what you accept, create the realities you want to create for yourself. If you can't, then don't put pressure on yourself, you know? With that said, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.